All been out to see our fiddle blazing, banjo string raising, bass beating country music show. You'll notice Stephen Del Benson over here rocking on the old fiddle, and some of his background is very interesting, and I'm gonna let y'all know about some of it. He was trained a little bit by Mr. Mark OConnor in Nashville, Tennessee. So tell me about how that relationship kind of happened and what. Just tell me that little story.
Right. Well, I was going to bluegrass festivals a lot. We go to hotels, and Mark O'Connor actually had a show on at that time, and I was staying in the hotel lobby, and actually that's the first time I ever really saw him and heard him play, and was absolutely floored. I mean, I'd been watching fiddle players all my life, but when I saw him, I wasn't interested in fiddle until I saw him, and I was like, okay, I want to play like that. So I really saw him out when I moved to Nashville. He had a fiddle camp outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and it was a 2-week camp, and so I got to meet him there, got his autograph, and actually had lunch with him and stuff there, and spent 2 weeks at his fiddle camp there. So.
I couldn't even imagine, seeing one of your heroes, and then, next thing you know, you're sitting there at one of his camps working with him.
Yeah.
But the story doesn't end there. Mr. Stuart Duncan, who's played on a lot of the big country hits over the years, and studio musician, and a world-traveled, probably top fiddle player, top 2 or 3 probably.
And he's still in Nashville. Mark,
he is.
Mark goes everywhere.
Right.
But Stuart's still working in Nashville.
Right. Yeah, he's still on some of the big hits you hear today. I think he's on one of Luke Combs' recent hits. So how did your situation with Mark O'Connor kind of come about? Or, Stuart Duncan.
Stuart Duncan. Well, I had kind of new to Nashville. Been there really just a few months. Went down to the Station Inn, which everybody does if you like bluegrass.
Heck yeah.
And seeing Stuart in person for the first time after seeing him, TV and whatever, it was really cool. I remember the first time seeing him. I just happened to be at the bar, and he happened to walk. He just got off stage because they went on break.
Right.
So he walked up right beside me, and he was getting himself a drink too. Though. So I'm like, why not just ask the guy? So I'm like, hey, do you give fiddle lessons? And he kind of hesitated for a second. He's like, yeah, I give fiddle lessons. So. I'm like, well, what day, what time, So it was on every Monday. I'd go to Stuart's house and.
You went to his house?
Oh yeah.
Golly.
Went to his house, and of course, and I tell you, Aubrey Haney was another one that I was down. I always forget about Aubrey. So he played with Clint Black for years. So
Aubrey Haney is
on his bigger albums of Clint. He's on there, so I would go to his house and. I don't know how I got around all these top fiddle players in Nashville. It was really just a godsend. It was one of those things. Just I wasn't looking for it,
right?
But somehow I was
fell into your lap.
Somehow every top fiddle player's house in Nashville, and wasn't even looking for it. But
Haney, I totally forgot about that too. Whenever I do the stage introductions of what we do and everything, he's just as
he's nuts.
One of the top ones as well, and on a lot of records y'all hear it's a studio musician. And does his own stuff. They all are that's crazy. So he's Stuart Duncan at the Station, and that's one thing about Nashville that sometimes people don't realize is whenever even if you're going down Broadway and you go in and see a band that's playing up on one of the stages, there's a good chance that maybe they're off tour with one of your favorite acts, whether it be Alan Jackson, for George Line, whoever, because that's just what they do. That's their career and their employment, and so they find different gigs in their off time, and then Steve happened to walk into Stuart Duncan.